Alright, let's build ourselves some Minmus landers. Now I have unlocked some new tech. Get rid of this checklist for now. I have unlocked some new tech since, because of all the interplanetary nonsense I've done. There was an upside to that. I did bring in quite a lot of science and I've unlocked some new tech. And I now have the Probodyne Octo 2 probe core. And besides being nice and small and skinny, it also has... if I click on it, more SAS capabilities. You can not only hold prograde, retrograde, but also radial and normal. So that's kind of nice. So that's that. It does not have reaction wheels though, so I definitely want to take these small inline reaction wheels and we'll shuffle that underneath that. I figure each of these landers should have in around 230 meters per second at delta V. Now there's quite a lot of science that I want to get. If I go in here, I want to do, let's configure the probe, because I did one flyby of Minmus and that's it. So most stuff is up for grabs. The telemetry report, I definitely want to do. Notice that you can do landed biome specific. The other one that is, and we'll do the thermometer and Geiger counter and stuff. The light experiment, notice it's only space low, space high, and it takes just 10 seconds to do it. So you don't want all of the landers. I'm going to plan on putting 3 landers in one craft. Only one of them needs to carry the light. So I won't make this one carry the light experiment. The might experiment needs to be in basically a polar orbit if you take a look at the min and max inclination. And it takes a long, well, it's is it biome? Yeah, it's biome. It's better to put a satellite in a polar orbit and let it collect. The site experiment takes an hour to collect, and again, is space low, space high, so for a lander, it's not appropriate. So for here, all I'm going to do is the telemetry report, and we'll start that up. We're also going to do, clicking on here, I have the double C seismic accelerometer. We're going to click all of these on here. A Geiger counter. Right there. We have the thermometer right there. And we have the we have the brand new GravMax negative gravioli detector. That has been unlocked. Now I should take a closer look at the GravMax. That is new. I've not used it yet in this stream, and Kerbalism, of course, has sunk its claws into this thing and made it operate quite a bit differently. You can do space low, space high, and on the surface it's biome specific. So I do want to put one of these on every single one of my landers, but looking up here, it takes 90 days and 4 hours to complete an entire gravity scan in a particular situation. So it's going to need to sit there for a while. It needs to get itself through the Minmus night. So I need to make sure I have enough battery power to last through a Minmus night, which is about 1 Kerbin day. And if you take a look at the amount of data the data rate at which it transmits, that's what I want to take a look at. It is 13.28 kilobytes per second. Okay? That's a lot. Like, to give that to some perspective, here's the thermometer. The thermometer is only 3.26 kilobytes per second. And keep in mind, it's going to be doing this for 90 days. It's going to generate 26 gigabytes of data. You don't want to store that. You want to transmit it as you collect it. And if I take a look at my antennas, remember again, this was, what was it again? 13.28 kilobytes per second. If I take a look at my antennas, typically I would just be putting a Communitron 16 on this thing. The Communitron 16 only transmits at 2.2 kilobytes per second. So I need to up the game. Putting on more Communitron 16s won't cut it. The way Kerbalism transmission rates work, it looks at the best antenna you have, and it just looks like as if you had just one of it, and that's how it picks the rate. And then based on your signal strength as well. The rate goes down if your signal strength is down, I'm pretty sure. So putting on a whole pile of Communitron 16s does not improve the max speed. So I need to improve the max speed, and I have 2 options. I have the Communitron DTS J1, which looks like that. And I have the Commutron DTS-M1, which looks like that. This one you've seen before. Let's extend it, because this one I used on my interplanetary probes that you saw a lot of over a while. The transmission rate of this one, of the DTS-M1, come on, is 25 kilobytes per second. And the transmission rate of the DTS-J1 is 65 kilobytes per second. So this one, the J1 is faster, but the J1 has less range. So that's the give and take of these two, right? Its range is only 2.0 gigameters, while this one, its rating is 5 gigameters. So this one is better for range, but a little slower on speed. This one's less range, but faster speed. But the masses are pretty close. This one is 55 kilograms. This one's 50 kilograms. So that's barely splitting the difference. But actually, I'm going to go with the J1, this top one, for the sole reason that this one's a radial part. So it's going to be awkward to stick it on there and then balance all the mass and everything. I could do two, but then that defeats the whole purpose of trying to save weight. So I'm going to use one of these. And this whole thing is here just because of this gravioli and the amount of data it's going to generate. Okay, so let's turn on all our science, because we're also going to have to think about electricity. I think that's going to take care of the science. I don't think there's anything else. Let me see. I wrote down what I wanted, and no, that's going to be it, and that's going to be on every single one of my landers. The Octo 2 has 20 megabytes of storage, and I determined that that was going to be enough. But what is going to be an issue is electricity, mostly because this thing needs to survive for the for a Minmus night when it can't generate enough solar for that. So I need to make sure that this can survive for about 6 hours. Right now it has enough battery strength to only survive for about 35 minutes, which is going to cut it. So let's see what we can do to extend the life of this thing. So we're going to go to batteries here. I'm going to stick on, let's just stick on one of these for now. And then I'm going to stick on, because I know I got to get this thing bigger. I've started to unlock a number of nice little structural parts now. I finally have like the octagonal struts and that kind of stuff. And then I'm also going to put on a structural tube. This is the 1.25 meter structural tube. It's nice because you can stow stuff inside here. And you can also extend it, make it longer. Like that. See? That's nice, right? But I'm using it because I need to get out wide, and then I'm going to stick stuff underneath. And what I'm going to stick underneath... Again, remember, I don't need a lot of Delta V to land on Minmus. I'm going to stick on, for now, just a single Oscar fuel can. Let's get that in there. There we go. See, you can hide that in there. Isn't that great? And then I'm going to get... I need a lot more electricity. Remember, this has got to survive for about 6 hours. So I'm going to get... Let's see. Let's start with, like... Can I get these in here? Yeah. 4 of these? Let's start with 4. Maybe 6? Oh, let's go with 6. What does that do for me? Now, oh no, I'm looking at, okay, 3 hours and 41 minutes. I need still a lot more electricity than that. What I could do, what is it? Oh, those are the battery stick. That looks kind of cool. Sorry, the batteries stuck out the top just by accident. And I thought that was like, wow, look at the textures on this part. But it's actually just the battery sticking out the top. But I actually kind of like it. And I'm not going to, I think I'm going to leave it just like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick on a couple more of these. I think I need more. And then I'm going to grab more of these. Let's see. Maybe just 4, though. Really need the battery. How's that? Now I'm up to 1 day and 0 hours. That will survive a Minmus night. I have no solar generation. So we need to put in some solar generation. So what I think I shall do is actually, back in the structure, use this cubic octagonal strut. Maybe another. No, let's stick with just the one for now. Put that back. And people have been getting on my back for not being stuck on the oxstats so much. And to be honest, about 6 of these oxstats will probably do it. But you know what's one of the reasons is I thought when I looked at the, like for instance, the deployable solar panels, I thought this was 175 kilograms, and then I looked at the oxstats and they're 5 kilograms, and it's like, oh my god, like oxstats are way lighter per watt generation than the deployable ones. So that's why I've been one of the reasons why I've been stuck on the oxstats. But then I looked at it more closely and noticed the extra 0 here after the decimal place. This is only 17.5 kilograms. So once you're putting on 4 or more oxstats, you're probably better off with one of these anyway. So I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna stick this in here. Let's see. So we're starting to get something here. Only 2 of them though. To be honest, it really just needs 1. We'll make this look nicer too. It really just needs 1, but it's good to have 2 in case one of them fails, and for balance and symmetry. I think that looks a little bit better. Okay, and let's move these down. So that is now there. That is now there. That is now there. That is now there. We now are producing a ton of electricity, way more than we ever need. And again, if I put it in the dark, it will last for a day in the dark, which will survive a Minmus night. That's what I want. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. I did put a little bit of fuel on here. Let's sneak in another Oscar B under there. I think there's room. There. And then what I'm thinking, don't need a lot of thrust, but I'm looking at the spider engines. I've not used the spider engine, I think, yet. They're pretty late on the tech tree with probes before crew tech tree. I've been using the ant a lot, and the spider's pretty much like the ant except for the fact that it can attach radially. Let's do that for now. And also it has a gimbaling ability, which is nice. The ant, I do not believe, has gimbaling ability. No, it does not. So what does that do for me there? That gives me, oh my gosh, 1,430 something meters per second. I only need about 230, so that extra Oscar B really wasn't necessary. So what I might just do, take that out. Again, let's get into some of these structural bits. I'm so glad to have these smaller structural pieces now. Again, we'll just slide those there now. 1.02 thrust to weight ratio. That's on Kerbin. To land on Minmus, I could get away with a lot less than that, but I kind of like when landing to have a thrust to weight ratio around 1. I'm just used to it, and I find being used to that kind of helps me out. Also, having 4 engines is nice because if, let's say, this one failed, I could cut off that one and still have thrust to land on the other 2, and it would still all be balanced. Okay, that's 820 meters per second. That's still a lot. I might need to get... Okay, let's put landing gear on it. Let's not get carried. Let's put everything on here, and then we'll get into tweaking the fuel. So, landing gear like that. Micro landing strut should be fine. I think this is starting to look all right. I'm just trying to see if I'm... Well, we'll go through the checklist in just a little bit. I don't know. I'm thinking I'm getting close to it. Got some nice... I only noticed these when I was playing around to make the thumbnail, but there's a... This is Restock. Adds this nice gold... There's a silver one too on those landing legs, but I love... I don't know. Gold is always nice. Here, I'll make this one gold. Do these have other textures? No. And anything else under there really doesn't matter because you won't be seeing it. Okay, let's put some lights on there. How about this thing? Can make it... I don't know if I like orange. What happens if I make this one orange? That makes this part look better. That is so accidental the way the tops of those batteries came out, but I just like it. What happens if I'm going to play around with this just a little more? Let's see. If I A little bit higher. Oh, don't want to come too high. Just have those orange bits coming out. I like it. All right, all right. Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. Go with that. I don't think there's any textures on that. Okay, lights, lights, lights. Let's put on some blinky lights. So we'll put on 4 of these fellas. And again, remember the plan is these are going to be quick blinkers. No, half second, not like strobes. That'll be good. Does a different color look better? Probably the gray's better. Yeah. And we'll put down at the bottom here, rather than these big guys for landing lights, I'm going to use these little spotlight doobers. Keep the 4-way there. Come back. 4-way symmetry. Stick them between the engines. Yeah. Play with that. So there. Oh, come on. Is there not an arrow that actually just points? You're a pain. Okay. Just want to slide them outwards a bit. Like that. Maybe downwards a bit. So they're not there. That looks pretty good. And pitch angle, I want to pitch them outwards. Maybe to about 25 degrees, sure. And then I think I got to rotate them a little bit. Oh, that's the blink period, silly. There we go. 45 might be right. That looks right. So those will be like landing lights. They'll just shine down. These will be blinky lights. And then let's some more spots. Always want to light this thing as best I can. Will they work here? Ooh, put on that. I think I can make that work. Pitch angle again. Pitch them inwards a bit. Turn them on. Yeah, just to light up the whole craft like that. That's all right. See, maybe sink them in a bit. Oh, I got the fine control I need. Oh. Starting to... Got some funky glitchiness happening. Maybe it's better just leave it alone. Yeah, I don't like quite the way that is. What if... Oh, absolute. What if I slid them upwards, inwards, and then... Oh no, now it's on that. No. Let's just live with that. We'll live with that. Okay. All right. This is Minmus 2, I think is what we're calling this. That's what I'm going to call it anyway, because I think Minmus 1 was the flyby one. Delta V is 713. What's the mass of this thing? Still under a ton. I might just take a little bit out of it. Again, to land on Minmus, I'm just budgeting about 230. So it's getting close to 3 times what I need. Having a little more than what I need isn't bad because if I can get that Oscar. Oh boy. Descending through here. Can I click the there it is. Okay. Having more might allow us to do a bit of a hop. That is actually let's go with here. This is 517. That's more than twice what I need. So, you know, once it's done in one biome, we can maybe hop them over to another biome. Of course, that hop isn't going to happen until after it's done the Gravioli thing, and that takes 90 days. Don't forget that. Okay, yeah, I will rename each probe as we... No Mercy says, don't forget to rename the probes. I'm definitely going to do that. But I'm thinking this is kind of a thing. Let's retract that. I just didn't like the way they were clipping into there. If I can get another two-way symmetry. I mean, I got the room. There, and then that way they're not. Right, that way they're not clipping. Right, that looks better. You can even move them down a little bit. Come on. Yeah. All right, I think I'm happy with this.